Authorized users, a very great topic that can help a lot of people in a very short period of time. We've worked with many different clients in our history, and I've been able to increase their credit scores anywhere from 20 to 50, sometimes even 70 points by using this tactic. So I'm going to start off with some of the basics, and I'm going to go into some of the details and some of the strategies that can help you guys increase your scores dramatically. So an authorized user is an additional cardholder on somebody else's credit card account. You can have a credit card in your name that is linked to the primary cardholder's account. So I'm going to give you an example. So let's just say I have a credit card that has a $10,000 limit and I'm using $1,000 as the balance. That equates to a 10% utilization. So if I had this account for about 5 years, now if I add you to my account, all of that history is going to be merged onto your credit report. Do you think if I had 2 or 3 of my accounts that I added you to, would that increase your scores in a very fast period of time? Where you should understand is that the closing statement date is when the new accounts will be reported. So if you get yourself added on the 30th of the month on a credit card and they report on the 2nd, within 3 or 4 days, all that history will merge and your credit score will increase. Now there's certain pros and cons with authorized users. The pros, as I described, is that you get added and the score increases dramatically if they are responsible. However, if they have a situation where that my $10,000 limit on my account, I went to Vegas and I racked them all up and now I'm maxed out at 100%. What happens is that my credit utilization now is at 100%, which will reflect on my credit report and decrease it sometimes 30 to 50 points, which your account would also be affected in the same manner. So you want to be added to people who are responsible, that carry low balances at the closing statement date. At the same point, if I miss a payment and have a new 30-day late, that will then be reported and reflected on your credit report. Now, if that ever happens, you are able to remove yourself as an authorized user by either calling the credit bureaus to be asked to remove them or by calling the creditor and asking them to remove it. Now, if you don't have the card in your possession, then there's no way for you to call and get information on the account. So if you have any friends or family that decide to add you to their accounts, and if they don't give you the actual card, there's no risk that gets put on them. So they are considered the primary holder and you're the authorized user. So if you have the card and you go and you rack up, the whole entire $10,000, they are primarily responsible for making sure the payments are being paid on time. So there's risks and rewards. Make sure you choose them accordingly. Now, every account that you add can increase your score from 5 to 20 points. So you can see the power of how this can be utilized. Now, we'll say, so let's just say that I have a $50,000 limit on a credit card and I add you as an authorized user. The banks aren't stupid. They understand the difference between primary accounts and authorized users. So if you go and apply for a credit card and you have my $50,000 credit card limit on there, the banks are not going to give you the same limit as me. So it's great for increasing your score and the perception of your overall credit, but it's very important that you have those primary accounts. They say that you should have at least 3 to 5 primary revolving accounts as far as the mixture of your credit. So you can use this as a tool to leverage, but don't rely on this tactic by itself. Shift of debts. So here's a strategy that I developed that can help people who have maxed out accounts, that can increase your credit score without spending any money by shifting the debt from revolving to an installment. So for an example, if you have a $10,000 limit on a credit card and you maxed it out, you're in financial trouble, you can't pay that down. Now the credit utilization is at 100% on the revolving side, which will have a major impact in your credit scores because it's unsecured and it fluctuates up and down. Carrying that balance at a maxed out account will hurt you tremendously. But if you shift that to an installment loan, now your credit utilization gets decreased to 0 and you're having fixed payments every single month for the term. So if it's a 5-year fix, and every month you're paying that $100 to pay down that $10,000 balance, the classification of installments will help you dramatically, and you haven't spent a dime.